Hello, I hope you enjoyed the first two videos. And what did you make of it? Were you able to relate to it? I wish there was some way in which I could know how you were feeling and thinking right now. So, today's day, I'm going to recap the first 2 days through a story, the story of creation of Ganesha. Ganesh Chaturthi is very close by, so I thought, why not this story? Now, I want to make certain disclaimers. When I am talking about the story of Ganesha, and when I'm looking at the Puranas, I am not looking at it from a religious lens. So there are people who, who will look at Ganesha as the Lord Ganesha, who and Shiva as the Lord Shiva and Devi Parvati, and who pray to them, who consider them as divine beings. Then there will be people who are atheists, who do not believe in them, or they would be people from other religions. Puranas never say that it is a particular god or a particular religion through which you need to look at this. When we actually read through the Puranas, there are stories of gods and goddesses, but they also have a medicinal value. And therefore, just listening to these stories can bring up something in you. Later on, in the Western world of psychology, a lot of work was got done around myths, but our ancients had already created these stories, which had a bigger value than just a religious or just a devotional approach. So, my request here is that let us not look at this story as religious. If you want to, there is no problem, there is no harm. But you can also look at these stories as just a story which has some value in it for healing. And why do I say that? So, if you remember, we looked at 5 layers of the body, and we also looked at the 5 layers of the story in the last video, in yesterday's video. So, the 5 layers of the body starts with the physical layer, right? My body, my face, my various organs, my skin, and so on. So when I listen to a story, something happens to my body. I move in a particular way. I sit in a particular way. I hear it, and there are sensations that get generated as different parts of the story. Then I go to the next layer. So the story generates some kind of energy. It also brings up some emotions. And I also see various things happening in the story. And then there is some kind of feeling, some kind of peaceful feeling that I receive, provided I have paid attention to them. Similarly, stories also have layers. So there is a Ganesha story which I can share as a Puranic story for entertainment. I can share it with children. I can share it with adults. I can share it in a puja, in a prayer, which is the external, the story itself, the words, the sentences. But if I pay more attention, the story has an energy of its own. It shows parts of us. So Ganesha is a part of us. Shiva is a part of us. Parvati is a part of us. Every character in that story is an energetic imprint within us. And if we are able to do that with reverence to ourselves and to our parts, then we can also look at the emotional connection within. And tomorrow, when we take up our own personal story, I'll take you through that, where you can also then relate these connections to your own personal story. So, today, this is what I would like you to do. I would like you to sit in a very comfortable position. If you want, you can close your eyes. If you do not want, that's also fine. And pay very close attention to what is happening in your body with your emotions as I narrate the story. Okay. Now, of course, the narrator's own personality, her voice, her way of saying certain things will also have an impact, which is all right. And as you go through it, experience those areas that are feeling stuck, those emotions that are coming up. And at the end of the story, you will be left with something which is either peaceful or joyful, or something which is not. And that also is a doorway for you to know that some healing is needed at those places. You need to understand this as a more internal drama. So every character that I speak about and every event that I speak about is of course there in the outside, but it is also there in the inside. It is also there in your psyche. So I'm going to start, and I requesting you to pay attention to your body, to your emotions, to your thoughts, to your beliefs, to any kind of stuckness that you feel as I take you through this story. So long time ago, Shiva and Parvati were married and they were very happy with each other. And one day when Parvati was sitting with her friends and she was sharing how happy her married life is and how everything is so great, one of her friends told her, true, but all the assistants, all the ganas are all Shivas. None of them is yours. And she said, my husband's and mine, it's one and the same thing. How does it matter? It doesn't matter. And she ignored what her friends had told her. Then one day, she wanted to relax and she wanted to have a quiet bath. She didn't want to be disturbed. So she asked Nandi to stand guard and she went inside. Now, when Shiva came, Nandi did not stop him because Parvati had told him, you will not allow anyone. He assumed that anyone doesn't mean husband. Husband has the right to come inside the house. And therefore, he allowed Shiva to enter. And Parvati didn't like it at all. And she now understood what her friends were trying to tell her. So what she did was that she took out her own body's whatever was she could take out and created a small boy who had all the powers, and she named him Ganesha and she asked him to stand guard, and she told him not to allow anybody to enter. And she again went for her own relaxed bath and her rest. Now when Shiva came, Ganesha was not aware of who Shiva is. He was following his mother's instructions. So he told Shiva, I will not allow you to enter. My mother has told me that you cannot enter. First, Shiva tried to reason with him, tried to playfully tell him. He got angry with him, but no, this boy was not willing to shift. So what did Shiva do? He went back and sent his Nandi and all the other Ganas to fight with the boy and remove him from the entrance of his house. So they went, they fought, but this little boy had a lot of power. He was, after all, created by Adi Shakti herself. So he was very powerful. So they fought with him, they tried to, but he defeated all of them. So then Shiva sent the other gods, Indradeva and other gods, to fight the boy. But no, even those gods did not succeed. It was not possible. Now Shiva was really angry, very angry. And so Shiva went there, and in one big sword, he cut off the boy's head. Now Parvati was sitting inside, and knowing of all this drama, she didn't come out. But when her child's head was chopped off, she came out, and she was raging, she was angry, and she was sad, and she started unleashing her anger and sadness across the world. It could be so destructive. She became who she was, Adishakti herself. And now the gods and everybody else became frightened. They didn't know whether over this will the whole world get destroyed. So Shiva sent one of his people to cut the head of the first animal they meet and plant it over the boy's head and gave him life. That is the way he pacified Parvati. So that's how the Ganesha, the elephant-headed god, was created. And to pacify her further, Ganesha was blessed as he will be prayed to first before any other god. He will be the symbol of auspiciousness. Before any entrance to a ritual, it will be Ganesha who will be honored. This is the story of creation of Ganesha. How did you feel? What were the sensations? Did you feel hot or cold at different points in time? Were you reminded of something? What happened to you? What was the energy? What happened to your breath? What were the emotions? Did you get angry? Did you get upset over something? Did you feel sad? Did you feel sad for the elephant? What all came up for you? And as you sit with all this, do you see a pattern in yourself? Let me move you a little bit. Who is Ganesha in you? Who is Parvati in you? Which part of you doesn't want to be disturbed and has created a boundary so that you are not disturbed? Who or what easily disturbs you? In you, within you, not outside. Outside may be triggers, but what happens inside is what actually creates the emotion. So, how does that make you feel? And as you listen to this story, do you find any resolution? Do you find anything at the end of it that tells you a solution to your problem or gives you a direction? Sit with this story. Think about it again. Either listen to me again, or I'm sure this story is available in many places. Or record it in your own voice and listen to yourself. And see what does it do to you. How do you respond to it? There are many, many layers in it. Parvati can be something that is creative in you. And what distracts you from your own creativity? The cutting of head of an animal and being placed on a boy's body can mean being in touch with your own intuition, being in touch with your own natural impulses, your natural drives. There is so much in this story and so much in your body that can get revealed by this small story. And there are hundreds and thousands of such stories in our Puranas. There are many such stories in fairy tales. There are many such stories in our folk tales. When I say our, I mean Indian. So Indian, not necessarily Hindu, but all other religions also. There are a lot of folk tales that are available. If you look at them and feel them and experience them and get in touch with that inner knowing, the inner joy, and this story will open up paths of healing to you. I hope you enjoyed today and look forward to speaking to you again tomorrow. Bye bye.
Help Talks are daily health related talks held at Health Education Library for People. Mumbai, India. For more information visit www.healthlibrary.com. Subscribe to Help Talks channel. Be better informed about your health.